Hello guys, welcome back to SheCodes. So in our SQL series of solving Leetcode questions, I'm back with another brand new question, average selling price. Okay, so let's start with the question. We have a table prices having 4 columns, product ID, start date, end date and price. Okay, so here in this prices table, the product has the particular product ID. Every product has their unique ID. Okay, therefore this product ID is the primary key. Fine. Now start date and end date are two dates, a period from a particular date to a particular date where the product will have this particular price. Okay, so this column have three primary keys, that is product ID, start date and end date. Okay, and the price will price of that particular product from the starting date till ending date. Okay, now here another thing is each product product ID there will be no two overlapping periods. Okay, so for every product ID there will be no overlapping periods. For in every row the starting date and ending date will be unique. Okay, for every product ID, that means there will be no two intersecting period for the same product ID. Okay, then we have this unit sold table which has product ID, purchase date and units. Okay, so this table may contain duplicates row. Fine, so this table indicates that this product ID having this much units purchased on this particular date. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to write the average selling price of each product and it should be rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, here we have our example. Here we have this prices table, we have this unit sold table and we have this output. Okay, in the prices table, product ID 1 and 2. Okay, we have these two product ID having their starting date and ending date. So if you look at the first row, the product ID 1 has starting date 17 February and ending date 28 February, where the price of that product will be 5. Okay, then again this product ID 1 has starting date 1 and ending date 22 March, where the price of this product will be 22. Okay, similarly for product ID 2. Now this table, unit sold table, shows this product ID 1 was purchased. The purchase was done of 100 unit of this product ID 1 on 25 February. So on if we check this date, this 25 February lies between this parameter. Okay, so the price of those 100 units per unit will be 5. Okay, then in the next row we have 1st March. The product ID 1 was purchased again on 1st March, where the units sold were 15. Okay, and when we check this date above over here, the 1st March lies in the second row. Okay, and the price of the product on this particular period, in this particular period, was 20. Okay, so after evaluating both the tables, we got this output where product ID 1 had average price 6.96 and product ID 2 had average price 16.96. Okay, and how we calculate average selling price? We calculate the average selling price by total price of product and number of products sold. Okay, so every product have their two periods, or maybe behind this there may be n number of products having n number of periods. Okay, from starting date to ending date, and their prices may vary. In this question, for example, we just got two periods over here for a particular product ID, but there may be cases that the product ID may have more than 2, more than 3 periods where the price is changing. Okay, so how they calculated the average selling price for product 1? They multiplied 100 into 15, that is number of units sold into price of per unit. So we get the price, total price, plus 15 into 20 because the price changed after 1st March. Okay, and then divided by 115, that is the number of products sold. So product ID 1 had total sale of 115, which was price of product was this, After calculating this, it was divided by total product sold. Okay, and we got our desired output. Now here is a twist, like it's not a twist but it is a test case. Okay, whenever we are solving any question or any on Leetcode or HackerRank or any test assessment we are giving or for a company, we have to keep in mind some test cases. Okay, so if we talk about over here, there might be a test case where the product is available on price table, that is we have the price of that product from particular date to particular date, but there may be chances that product was not sold. Okay, so that product might not be available in our unit sold table, but that product is available on prices table. So we have to include that product as well, whether we show its price or not. Okay, so let's start with the query, then it will be clear. Okay, we have to select a product ID. So product ID, we will select a product ID from our prices table. Okay, prices dot product ID. Okay, now we have to calculate the average selling price and name that column as average price. Okay, so we have to create this column. How we are going to create this column? It's very simple formula. You have to calculate the total price of product, so it will be calculated by using sum function, and then number of products again using sum function and dividing it. Okay, but as we mentioned, as we discussed right now, the test case, now there may be possibility that the product available on prices table might not be available on units table. Let's first calculate it and then check the scenario. Okay, so here sum of what prices dot price. Okay, this prices dot price multiplied by units sold dot units. Okay, two dates where the price is different, so we will multiply and we will add the sum. Okay, so total price is calculated. Okay, now this will be divided by sum of units sold dot units. Okay, that will be the total units. And now as we discuss the scenario that if the product is available on prices table but is not available in units table, so if we imagine this scenario, this value will be null. Okay, because the number of units sold for that product will be 0, and that will cause an error because it won't be able to solve division by 0. For that we will use null if function. Okay, what does that function do is we will use null if inside this sum function. Okay, what this function, if the expression contains two values. Okay, I'm explaining you what does null if function do. So if the expression contains two values, null or 0 or not null, so here if we calculate the sum over here and we divide, the sum will be 0 because that product is not sold, so this will give us 0. So the null if function will return us null to avoid the division by 0 error, because if we do not use this function there will be an error, division by 0, was a situation where your test cases are not passed. Okay, so we have to keep in mind various situations while calculating the query or while writing the program. Fine, so this is the function of null if function. The question says that average price should be rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, so here again we will use a round function, inside which we will keep this value. Okay, and up to two decimal places. The answer should be into 2 decimal places. Fine. Now again a scenario. As you see over here, every average selling price has a particular decimal value. Okay, but here if this value gets null, then this whole value will get null. But we do not want null to be present in our average price column. For that, we will use collage. Collage function return us the first non-null value. Okay, so we will pass this whole average selling price calculation inside this collage function, and this will return us the first non-null value, because the average price should not contain any null value. Instead of, it will be more neater and cleaner to present 0. Okay, so it will return us 0 for the calculation. Okay, so this was about calculating our average selling price. This is how you calculate it, and name it as average price. Okay, this is how you created your column. Now from where? From our prices table, left join. Why? Because we want to include every product ID, whether it is available in units sold table or not, whether the product did some purchase, did some sale or not, but we want to include it. Okay, so left join units sold. On what basis you are joining? On basis of two things. Okay, first is prices dot product ID, okay, which is equal to units sold dot product ID. If these two things are equal, then join this table. And there is one more thing. The prices are changing according to the dates. Okay, the purchase dates should be included inside these two ranges to calculate the price, total price. So, and purchase date should be in between start date and end date. This is how you check if this particular thing is inside this or not. So purchase date should lie between start date and end date. And next thing is group by prices dot product ID, because these products are available in more than 2 rows, but in our output table we do not want to include them in more than 2 rows, so we will group them. So prices dot product ID. Okay, now let's run it and check if it is okay. So it is correct and we got our expected output. Let's submit it. So if this query helps you, solve this in your Leetcode and let me know in comment section if it is helping you. And we got all our test cases passed. It was correct. Okay, so let me know in comment section if it helps you, and the code is available on GitHub, so you can check over there. Thank you. Happy coding.